Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear student. So in this lecture we will discuss what is a renal corpuscle with explanation. As we know that in previous lecture we discussed what is renal corpuscle it is consisted of glomerulus and Bowman capsule. Glomerulus is this region where capillaries present like arterioles, afferent arterioles are present, and efferent arterioles are present which bring blood away from the renal corpuscular region. There are also present glomerulus capillaries. This region is called glomerulus. Another region which is a cup shape and consists of two layers of cell, it is called Bowman capsule. So renal corpuscle mainly consists of two poles. One is the vascular pole. It is the region where capillaries are present, and another is the urinary pole. It is the region where proximal convoluted tubule and Bowman capsule have junctions. This region is urinary pole, and this region is the vascular pole. Vascular means that there are present blood vessels. Now we will discuss what is Bowman capsule. So dear student, this is Bowman capsule. It is also called glomerular capsule, and it is double-walled structures. It consists of two layers. One is parietal layer, this layer. This is actually the basement membrane I have drawn now. Parietal layer is located here. I will draw this cell. This is the parietal layer of cells, and here is the visceral layer of the cell. It is important to know that the parietal layer of cell consists of a single layer of a flattened cell. We call it is simple squamous epithelium. So these are the parietal cell which consist of simple squamous epithelium. These are the parietal layer cell which consist of a simple squamous epithelium. So these are the cell of a parietal layer which are flattened cell, and they consist of a they form a single layer of this squamous layer. So this is called parietal layer. This is the parietal layer. These cell rest on basement membrane. The dark line represent the basement membrane, while this green line represent the cell of the parietal layer, and this is actually the outer layer of the Bowman capsule. So this is parietal, this is the basement membrane. This dark line represent basement membrane, and this layer is called parietal layer. Parietal layer of cell, which is actually outer layer of cell, Bowman capsule. This is outer cellular layer of a parietal cell. Another layer is visceral layer, which is the inner layer. Okay, and visceral layer consists of cells which are called podocytes. Visceral layer consists of cell which is called as podocytes. So podocytes rest on this basement membrane. This is actually basement membrane, which is common for parietal layer, common for visceral layer, and also common for endothelial cell of the capillaries. This space is called as capsular space. This is called as a capsular space. This is the capsular space, which is the space present between parietal layer and visceral layer. Now I will draw parietal podocytes. Podocytes are actually cell which has extensions, and these extensions are attached to the basement membrane, which is glomerular basement membrane. I will draw some podocytes so that you can clear it about it. These are the podocytes. These are podocytes having very long extensions. Okay, these are the podocytes with large extensions. So these all podocytes I have drawn very large. They have also nucleus. They form this layer of cell, which is the visceral layer. Okay, this is the visceral layer of a cell. which are called as which are made by podocytes. These podocytes make the visceral layer of the cell. These podocytes have extension which are called as primary extension as well as or primary processes as well as secondary processes. These podocytes, these are the primary processes. These are the primary process. Primary process of podocyte, and this primary process move toward basement membrane and they form secondary processes which are dispersed over the basement membrane. Here I am drawing in this like this. These are the secondary processes which are derived from the primary process of the podocytes. These are called secondary processes and which are called as a pedicels. Secondary processes, and these are actually called pedicels that rest on the basement membrane. It is important to know that podocytes have oval nucleus. Podocytes have oval nucleus. The nucleus that is present in podocytes is oval. Oval nucleus is present in podocytes. They also have primary processes. They also have secondary processes which are called pedicels. So these are the podocyte, and these form parietal visceral layer. Podocytes form visceral layer. They form visceral layer. Podocytes form the visceral layer. These are the podocytes. So another thing, podocyte also have the central region which is called podocyte body. In this body is about 1 to 2 micrometer away from the basement membrane. This is called body of the podocytes, and this is about 1 to 2 micrometer away from the basement membrane. This is the basement membrane. This is the cell body of the podocyte, and this is about 1 to 2 micrometer away from the basement membrane. Another common thing about the podocyte is that they contain rough endoplasmic, moderate amount of endoplasmic reticulum, and other. They also have abundant free ribosome, but the nucleus of the podocytes is oval. Nucleus of the podocyte is oval. It is oval mean that it is egg-shaped. It has a shape like egg. This is about podocytes. Now another thing is that there are present gaps between the pedicel. This is one pedicel, this is another pedicel. Between these pedicels are present gaps which are called filtration slits. These are called filtration. These are the gaps which is called as a filtration slit. Slit usually mean hole, and they have a width of about 40 nanometer. They are about 40 nanometer in diameter. These slits are hole that are present between the pedicel or secondary processes of the podocytes, covered by filtration diaphragm, slit membranes. Okay, these are filtration slit. They are covered by slit diaphragms or slit membranes, and slit diaphragms contain different types of protein. Filtration slits, these are present between pedicels. Okay, filtration slits are present between pedicel. These are covered by slit diaphragm, covered by slit diaphragms, and we can also call slit diaphragm as a slit membrane. These are actually membrane, and these slit membrane consist of different types of protein which are called, for example, nephrins. These are compose a protein. These proteins includes nephrins, also podocytes are also present, and also p cadherins. So there are present gaps which are called filtration slits. Filtration slits are present between pedicel, and these filtration slits are covered by slit diaphragm. A slit diaphragm are also called a slit membrane. In this membrane, there are present important protein. These proteins include nephrins, podocytes, and p adherins. So this is all about Bowman capsule. What we discuss, I am going to repeat. One is the outer layer, which is called parietal layer. The other is inner layer, which is called as visceral layer. The inner layer is visceral layer. This is the inner layer, which is visceral layer. In between parietal cell and visceral parietal layer and visceral layer is present a space which is called capsular space. This is cell body of the podocyte. This is the process which is primary process of the podocytes. Okay, and then this primary process give rise to secondary process which is called pedicels. Pedicels. It is important to know that pedicels are dispersed over the basement membrane, glomerular basement membrane. These are the two layers. In between the two layers present a space called capsular space. This parietal layer is then continues with the distal convoluted tubule, and which is lined by cuboidal epithelial cell. These are the cells of a cube. These are the cells of a proximal convoluted tubule, which are not squamous, but which are cuboidal. Okay, so these are the cells of a proximal convoluted tubule that are continuous with squamous cell of the parietal layer. This is all about Bowman capsule. In next lecture, inshallah, we will discuss in detail what is the structure and composition of this Bowman, this membrane. Okay, and we will also discuss what is the composition of glomerular capillaries. So this is all about Bowman capsule. Must watch another video about glomerulus basement membrane.